Hey guys, R4GE VipeRzZ here, and welcome back to episode 2 of my Python 3 series. So in this episode we're going to go over print statements and variables. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up idle. So I'm just going to search idle in the search bar and I'm going to open idle up. So then the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go File, New File, and then we can close this other window and I will make it full screen for you. And before we start typing out any code, we're first going to go to File, and then Save As. Now you can save the file wherever you want and you can name it whatever you want. I'm just going to save it here and I'm going to name it Python 3 episode 2, like so. So it's important you save the file before you start typing any code out. That's because you cannot run the code until you actually save the file. So it's best to save the file before you start typing out any code. So now we've saved the file, the first thing we're going to go over is print statements. So a print statement will print some text onto the screen. So to create yourself a print statement, you just need to type print, and then open bracket, and then a close bracket. So the brackets contain whatever you want to print. So I'm just going to print the text hello world. And if we ran this code at the minute, we would get an error. Now that's because whenever you want to use text in Python, you need to surround it with speech marks. So I'm going to put a speech mark at the beginning and a speech mark at the end. So these two speech marks tell Python that all the text following this is just text that needs to literally be written to the screen. So if we didn't put speech marks around it, so if I remove these, then it would think that hello was a name of something and world was a name of something. It wouldn't just print hello world to the screen. So I will surround this with these speech marks, and then before we can run it, we first need to save it. So you can either go File and Save, or you can press Ctrl and S to save it. So once you've saved it, you then can click Run, and you can run the module. So as you can see, it's now printed hello world to the terminal. So I will just show you what happens if we didn't have the speech marks around it. So if I remove them and I saved it and I ran it, as you can see, it's invalid syntax. So if you're getting an invalid syntax error, then first check that you have your speech marks in the correct place. So if we put speech marks around it again, that now tells Python this is text, and if we run it, then you can see it now prints hello world to the screen again. So now the next thing we're going to go over is variables. So the best way to understand variables is to think of them like boxes. So in real life, if you had a box and you writ something on it, and then you put something into the box and store it away somewhere for later, then if you come back and you find the box with a name on it, and you open it up, you can find whatever you put inside of it. So to create a variable in Python, you first need to think of a name for the variable. So I'm going to create a variable to store a name. So I'm just going to call the variable name. So the first thing you need to do when creating a variable is you need to type the name of the variable that you want to create, and then once you've done that, you want to just press space, then equals, and then space, and then you want to type out whatever you want to save into the variable. So I'm going to save the name Steve into the name variable. So to do that, I'm going to do speech marks, then I'm going to type Steve, and then I'm going to close it with speech marks. So as you can see, again, I've used speech marks as I want to save the text Steve to the variable. If I didn't put these speech marks around it, then Python wouldn't know that that was text. So now I've saved Steve to the name variable. We can now create ourselves another print statement. And this time, instead of putting text into it, we're just going to type name. So name is the name of this variable. So if it prints name, it should print Steve. Now that's because we've saved the text Steve to the variable name. So if we print name, it should then print whatever's been stored in the variable. So if we just save this and we run it, as you can see, it now prints Steve. So basically, a variable is a section in memory that you can save stuff to. So I've created the variable named name, and I've saved Steve to it. So if I change this from Steve to Bob, then this time when we save the code and we run it, it should now print Bob to the screen. Now as you can see, it's printed hello world and it's printed Bob. So the way Python works is it goes line by line for the code. So when you first run the program, it finds the first line and that tells it print the text hello world to the screen. Then when it gets to this line, it says, okay, you've created a variable called name, and then you've set it equal to the text Bob. So then it saves Bob in the variable called name, and then when it gets to this line, it sees it's a print statement and you're printing the variable name. So guys, that's going to be the end of this video. If you liked it, don't forget to hit the like button. If you disliked it, hit the dislike button. Subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you another time. Bye.